Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about what you should be doing as far as your macronutrients go on keto. So I've been getting some questions and one of them rang a bell, and I figured this would be a great opportunity to discuss it with you guys. When you're following keto and you find out, well, let's start here. You have to find out what your basal metabolic rate is before you ever even start keto, because you need to know how many calories your body burns at rest, because that is a number you never want to fall below. When you fall below that number, guys, you're going to destroy your metabolism. The only way to keep your metabolism going and for you to consistently lose weight across the board on keto is to make sure that you're not starving yourself. You cannot go too low on calories. And while some people think it's counterintuitive to eat more when you're trying to lose weight, it definitely plays a significant role in your long stay and how you do across the board. Because every single one of us that starts a new plan will lose weight early on in the beginning, mostly water. And then what happens is we consistently try to drop our calories, don't eat as much, maybe fast and things like that. And our bodies recognize that as we're not eating, and it wants to not release the fat. So basic metabolic rate, you can go online, you can plug in a bunch of numbers and questions that it will ask you, and you can come up with that number. Once you have that number, that's your basis of starting keto. That is when you can say to yourself, okay, so I'm just throwing out a number here, guys. Let's say my BMR is 1800 calories. When I find out that number, that is where I plug into my FitnessPal 1800 calories a day. Then I go and I plug in my fat percentages, my carb percentages, and my protein percentages. You can't just magically, without knowing your caloric intake, come up with these numbers. It's very important. So the first thing, again, basal metabolic rate, which is the amount of calories your body burns at rest. Then you can figure out, your 5% carbs, your protein, and your fat. 75% fat, 20% protein, and 5% carbs is usually the standard, but everyone's different. Your activity levels are different. Medical histories are different. If you're on any medications, that can affect those numbers. So while it's a great standard, it's something that can ultimately be tweaked and customized. And that is when I make my meal plans. That's why these questionnaires are so detailed, because I need to know how much you weigh, what your body fat is in regards to all the measurements that I ask you to provide me. I ask you your activity level. I ask you if you're on any medications, your medical history. All of those things play in a role, and that is where I do my calculations, and then I can help with the foods that you're supposed to eat. So with all of that being said, when another question that I get in regards to this is regarding the fat macros and the protein macros. Obviously, we know keeping our carbohydrates low is the one of the premises of keto, and another one is to keep your fat very high and keeping protein moderate. However, when you're on this way of life for quite some time, things need to be tweaked, and more often than not, it is your fat macro and your protein macro, those two. I have found through all these years of being keto, coaching, writing meal plans, that when someone is on keto for about a year, and I'm talking like religious keto, you have a tendency to stagnate. We stall out. We don't know why. Well, I think I found out the reason why. And people will argue this, but this is just my experience, and this is what this channel always is that when you eat too much fat, when you're adapted and you're moving along and plugging along, your body will ultimately turn to the ingested fat, the fat you're eating, to burn off, rather than the fat that's stored on our body. It will burn through the fat you eat first before attempting to burn off the fat on your body. Does that make sense? So if you are at a stall and you decide, you know what, today I'm going to eat so much fat and get things rolling again, you might be at a disadvantage. You might want to try to cut back on your fat just a little bit, give your body an opportunity to say, there's some fat on my body, so let me burn through that and increase your protein a little bit. And I'm going to tell you why. You will lose muscle mass when your protein is too low, no matter what. Keto, non-keto, whatever. Your body needs a certain amount of protein, amino acids, to build muscle. That's the building blocks of your muscle. And when you're not feeding your body enough protein, that muscle can break down. And that is why a lot of you, myself included, early on, felt like you were losing weight, but you noticed yourself shrinking awfully quickly. That is because a lot of muscle that you may have had is being broken down. That is the last thing you guys want. I'm going to tell you why. I've said this in many videos. You don't want to be an older person, and I don't mean 80. You could be 50. You could be my age. You don't want to be an older person and not have muscle mass. You have to have some muscle mass, guys. You can't be one of those people that can't get out of bed, out of a chair. Oh, and here comes the sun. Sorry. Wow, it's bright. That's better. You don't want to be one of those people that have a difficult time climbing stairs, running with your grandkids, running with your own children, walking through a mall, going to an amusement park, walking on the beach. We need muscle mass to perform activity, all kinds of daily living activities, getting up out of a chair. You know how sometimes people get out of bed or out of a chair and they're like, oh, everything hurts. Obviously, that could be an underlying condition such as arthritis or such. But if you have muscle mass on your body, guys, you will live a pain-free lifestyle. Again, there's underlying things. I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about when your protein is very low, our bodies will break down the muscle in order to, how do I put it in layman's terms? In order to feed itself in some strange ways. Your body breaks down the muscle if you're not getting enough protein. So with that being said, again, moving back to where I started, if you're on keto for quite some time and you notice you're stalling out, you start to decrease your fat just a little bit and up your protein a little bit, and you'll notice a big difference. You will perhaps gain a pound or two when you start doing that, but it's not fat. People don't gain 1 or 2 pounds of fat in a day or two. Keep that in mind. It takes a while to gain a pound of fat, even when you're on vacation, and maybe sometimes you go off plan and you eat too much and you gain 5 pounds. It's usually not 5 pounds of fat. You're usually holding in water. There's a lot of sodium and things like that. Our bodies are very smart. Our body knows that when it's not getting enough food, it will shut things down a little bit. Your metabolism meets, it drops. It meets your caloric intake. So here's my best recommendation, and this is something that I have found through the last few months of training and upping my carbs and upping my protein and decreasing my fat. I have way more energy. I have been building muscle significantly. My gains in the gym are for me, huge. Every time I go to the gym, I at least hit one personal record, meaning I can lift stronger. I can add another rep or two, something. So it tells me I'm getting stronger. My muscle definition is coming in. So that's my personal experience. I have a client that I literally have had for the last almost 3 years, and you know who you are out there. I'm going to give the initials MW. This client of mine has struggled. Early on, perfect, no problem. The weight came off, the inches came off, and then it was a slowly moving stagnation, stall. So what do? We dropped the fat just a little bit, we upped the protein a lot at this point, and the carbs are still mediocre. I mean, I think I added another 10%. No, I'm sorry, 10 grams, so they're at 30 carbs, no big deal. The weight is coming off like no man's business. So I'm very proud to say, again, everyone's different, but this whole scenario worked for this client. So I'm very excited about that. And let me think, what else? Some of the other questions. Somebody was asking me about my carbohydrate count. I'm at about 100 grams of carbs a day now, and my protein is at like 150 now. Fat, again, is still kind of low. The only fat that I do get is in way, again, of like healthy oils and fresh peanut butter, like ground peanuts, or any kind of nuts. Doesn't have to be ground up, but that's how I prefer it. In fact, I'll show you. I was on my way to work this morning, made my protein shake. So it's 1 scoop of protein, half of a banana, 2 tablespoons of all natural peanut butter from Trader Joe's that I buy, and some ice cubes, and I blend it up. See? And it was so good. I wish I had more. But that's breakfast. For lunch today, I have a low carb wrap with 1 full can of Trader Joe's tuna and 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise and some tomato slices, some pickle. And then for a snack, you know, the couple hours later, I am having some more dairy. Forgot to mention that. I have a 0-fat Faye little yogurt container. For dinner tonight is going to be making one of those Purdue oven stuffer roasters in my oven. And I have a spaghetti squash that I'm going to make. And so the carbs are coming in through vegetables. Again, today, a low carb wrap, no big deal. I think it's by Tumaro, T-U-M-A-R-O. I believe there are 60 calories and I think 12 carbs. And then there's some fiber in it. So again, something like that can fit into your keto plan. You know, we're trying to stay at 20 grams or less on keto. You can have a wrap that has 12 grams. Just count it. Don't be afraid. You can have a little piece of a potato if it equates into your macros. I really also realized over the past few years that I did cut out a lot of foods, a lot of good foods, sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, things like that. But if I find I'm adding them into my macros and calculating them, I'm fine. But again, I'm exercising. So that's a key ingredient in this whole keto mix, guys. You have to exercise. I don't care if you sit in a chair and lift your arms up and down for 10 minutes. I don't care if you're in your living room and you get up off your couch and sit down, up, down, through commercials if you're watching TV. Do some kind of exercise. Most of us have stairs in our home. Walk up and down the stairs for 10 minutes. You can find some way to exercise. Some people tell me, oh, I can't exercise, I hurt my legs. Move your arms. Pretend you're swimming. Move your arms up and down. Move. If you can't move your arms, move your legs. There's always a way to get your heart rate up. So I hope that all helps. So anyway, that's today's video. I have to get inside and go to work. It's really early. The parking lot here is pretty much empty, but I like to get a fresh start on a Monday morning. So going in, and I hope to see you guys all soon. I do have some videos coming up that I've been working on. I am partnering up with another YouTuber to create some kind of collaboration video. We're going to show you what is in our refrigerators, what we eat on the daily to keep ourselves accountable. And if you're interested in something like that, let me know, because she and I have been in touch. It's just a matter of me filming my part. I've been so busy. So yeah, that's what's going on, guys. So anyway, I hope you're all doing well. Stay focused. Please stay focused, and know that anything that you want in life you can get as long as you stay consistent. Be consistent. Don't give up no matter what. Just keep going, because tomorrow will happen anyway. All right? I'll talk to you guys all soon. I love you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.